Next up is Dr. Celina Peerman, who serves as an organizational behavioral specialist with over 22 years of experience from frontline to senior level positions in a wide range of industries. She is passionate about engaging our human resources in new ways in order to achieve even better organizational results. Celina's focus is to provide quality training and services that directly contributes to better service for all stakeholders, and in particular, the retention of frontline staff and strength of first-line supervisors. Her passion is for how people behave at work, the good, the bad, and the worst. Celina's style has been described as dynamic, noting the ability to draw in even the most resistant attendees through real-life examples and humor. Put your hands together for Dr. Celina Peerman.
Thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate it. I have 4 excerpts for you today for our time together, customized for this audience. My specialty is behavior at work, how we take all those personalities, characteristics, and traits in people and put them in small confined spaces and try to get some work done. For organizations today, it is about performance. Performance of all resources, financial, physical, and human, in order to meet and exceed our customer expectations. I'd like to illustrate this idea for you briefly. And I've asked for 2 volunteers who have been kind enough to help me out. So I'm going to ask Erica, you have a wadded up piece of paper, and this is not like the trick you saw earlier, but I am going to ask you to throw your paper at the screen up there, and I assume all damage responsibilities here, okay? Erica, go ahead and throw your paper. Thank you. Michelle, you've got a piece of paper from you too. Would you throw yours? Thank you, and that was not a setup, but Michelle, I did set you up. So here's the difference. Erica, why'd you throw at the screen? I did, thank you. Michelle, why'd you throw at the screen? I'm really glad you did, because then I have to change my entire story afterwards. So think about this. When we don't give people a direction to aim, they make it up, right? You threw there because I gave you the direction. Michelle, you threw there because she did. People are following someone on your teams. It may just not be who you want them to follow. Alignment. Alignment of setting clear expectations and giving people the support to do their best work so we can hit performance is critical. If I gave you each a piece of paper in the room and said, throw it at the screen, there would be a whoosh of energy all aimed in the same direction. We would also discover that paper doesn't fly as well from some parts of the room, and some of us have better arms than others when we're trying to throw. However, we also know that if I gave you each a piece of paper in the room and said, thank you, Michelle, throw yours, some of you would go, I think she wants me to aim there. Some of you would go, oh no, I have coworkers here, and this would just be much more fun to aim at them. And you can probably name a few employees along the way who might look at you and say, hey, you know what? I'm fine, I don't feel like throwing anything today. It's those energy and resources that we hold every day. And as an everyday leader, it's my responsibility to make sure we've aligned and are taking people in the same direction in order to create results. As a recovering HR director, you have probably also seen lots of behavior at work. Some of that behavior helps us reach our goals, and some not so much. I want to describe for you one brief model today to think about how behavior happens at work. So, if you will, using a pen and a piece of scratch paper or the program that you have with my picture on it, right? I'm going to ask you to draw a circle, just anywhere you've got handy right now. And if you like details, about the size of a nickel. About the size of a nickel works. I want you to label that circle DNA, genetics. Think about this. We were all born into this world with some stuff, qualities and characteristics that you didn't pick, nor did your parents pick. So hang in there with me for just a few more seconds when I ask this question. Is it a good use of your energy this week to try and change your coworker's DNA? I didn't say scramble it, I said change it, right? So probably not a good use of our energy and time because it came with us into this world and we're not done with there. So I'm going to have you create a second circle around that first one, now more of a bullseye effect. I want you to name the second circle personality. We all came into this world with some DNA, and that personality formed early on. Qualities and characteristics that are persistent over time. And while adolescence, it develops a little bit more, but by adulthood, pretty well established. And while injury and illness can etch away at some of that, we know it's probably not a good use of our energy to try and change our coworkers' personality this week, although you probably have a few in mind right now, right? Let me give you one of the examples I see with companies every week when it comes to personality. Optimism, pessimism. Optimists see the glass half full, thank you, and I will even add an additional category where the glass is overflowing. Life is just that good, right? Pessimists see the glass half empty, thank you. I've added an additional category, and in honor of my husband of 22 years, I just call it Daves. So no offense to any Daves in the room or Daves you know. But in his world, it's not half full or overflowing. It's not even half empty. In Dave's category, he will debate with you whether the glass exists at all, and if it does, the water's at the wrong level. Okay, and if I'd like to stay happily married for the next few decades, we've had to come to some conclusions over the years that I'm not going to take the Dave category and make him a glass overflowing, and I've got to meet him somewhere in between. So I want you to draw one more circle around that and label it behavior. This is where we can make a difference. Behavior is my response or reaction in relationship to my environment. I do something, and my environment gives me a response. That was a good choice. That was not such a good choice. Behavior is what we adjust for. Behavior at work can be conscious. I do it, and I know it. Or unconscious. I do it so automatically, I don't even pay attention to it anymore. For example, if you traveled in from some distance this morning, and you arrived at your destination and thought to yourself, wow, I don't remember the last 20 minutes of driving. Those behaviors fell below the conscious level. We did them so automatically and safely because thankfully you're here, but they didn't register. They weren't intentional. If you have ever tried to change somebody else's behavior and they didn't want to, how did it work for you? Which brings us back as professionals to choosing those behaviors we want to be known for being intentional with how we contribute to team efforts. Often I'll get the question or the statement, you wouldn't believe what my coworker did today. And my first question usually is, are they aware? Because someone who does something that's such a roadblock to success and they know it should be a different response than somebody who's done it so automatically for years they're not paying attention to it anymore. And we know when it comes to behavior, it's our best place to start is working on our own stuff first. We have the opportunity to build professional relationship every single day, every single interaction of creating that professional we want to be known for and that team member we would prefer to work with. Using this short time, we're going to review some of the key points that we've covered in the breakout session this afternoon. 1, communication is different than effective communication. We can communicate all day long. Question was, is it effective? 2, communication is irreversible. Once I've said it or I've typed it, I cannot get it back. And just because we have more methods of communication today does not make us better at it. In fact, I would propose it gives us more opportunities to mess it up. The second area we covered in this breakout session reminds us that everybody's roles and responsibilities here are needed. I don't know any company making up extra people just to have extra folks around in case we need them, which means everybody's roles and responsibilities here need to be done in order to take great care of our customers. At the end of the day, our customers don't care who didn't get it done. They just want to know they were well taken care of. And that we also know there is a difference between venting and stirring the pot. That I can vent and I can come into Kent and I can say, Kent, you wouldn't believe what happened this morning. And you say, I know what you mean, Selena. Take a deep breath. You've heard it, and you help me reset, and I go back to my workstation. But the emotion continues as long as I tell the story. So now I'm thinking about it again, and I go into Allie. Allie, you wouldn't believe what happened this morning. Now, Allie has a choice. Allie can give me her best professional response, which I know what she would do. And she would calm me down, and I would vent, and I would go on. Or if I came in, Allie, you wouldn't believe what happened this morning. And you would say, I know what you mean. And we're going right over that emotional cliff together. The emotion continues as long as we tell the story, which means as professionals, we need to own our own hot spots and triggers to understand how we build relationships as team members, as customer service providers, and all the work we do together. In summary, we've spent the last 2 days at a conference, and we started you off with a challenge yesterday morning that said, for this time invested, your biggest challenge is to forget about all the other things you would have been doing had you not been here. I want to issue a second challenge as we wrap up your time. Think about this. What will you do next? We've all been to conferences before where we go back with good intentions and lots of ideas, and we take our notes, and then we see our to-do list and our email and our voicemail, and we think to ourselves, I gotta get back to work. And we take the stack of papers we have and put them on top of the other stack of papers we have from the other conferences and say, I gotta get back to work. As we finish up today, I want you to pick one thing. Choose it, commit to it, do something with it. Tell someone else so they can help hold you to it. That is where the good stuff is. That's where learning happens. And as professionals, it is about continuous improvement, being better today than I was yesterday, and being better tomorrow than I am today. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I'll see you at lunch. It's all yours.